Hello, it's your favorite sports here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, USA American football news doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're gonna make crack. Shedeur Sanders' $5 million pledge to fight homelessness in Cleveland. A quarterback's defining play off the field. In the high-octane world of professional football, where players are celebrated for cannon-like arms, breakneck runs, and game-saving tackles, it is often easy to forget the human beings behind the helmets. Yet every once in a while, a moment occurs that pierces through the spectacle of sport and reminds us of something bigger. Such a moment arrived when Cleveland Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders stood before cameras and community leaders and promised a life-changing gift: a $5 million pledge to combat homelessness in Cleveland. With that announcement, Sanders transcended the familiar headlines of rookies, playbooks, and preseason chatter. He placed himself firmly in the legacy-building conversation, not just as an athlete who wants to win games, but as a young man determined to change lives. A quarterback's unexpected playbook. The pledge is more than a symbolic gesture. Sanders has earmarked the entire $5 million, money drawn from his latest wave of sponsorship deals, for the immediate expansion of housing and shelter services in Cleveland. His plan calls for the creation of 100 new housing units and 200 shelter beds, a commitment that could change the trajectory of hundreds of families' lives. "I can't stand by knowing families are sleeping outside in this city," Sanders said, his voice cracking with emotion. "Cleveland gave me everything: love, energy, belief. Now it's my turn to give back. And this is just the beginning." For Sanders, the gift is personal. His journey to the NFL was built not only on his famous last name, but on the community support, resilience, and love he felt in Cleveland since joining the Browns. The city embraced him, and now he is embracing it right back, on a scale that few could have predicted. The scope of the crisis. To fully understand the weight of Sanders' gift, one must first appreciate the scale of the problem in Cleveland. According to local housing advocacy groups, thousands of Cleveland residents experience homelessness each year, and the numbers are rising. Families with children are among the fastest-growing segment of the homeless population, often caught in the cycle of job loss, medical expenses, and the spiraling cost of housing. Winter, in particular, poses life-threatening risks. Sub-zero nights on the streets can quickly turn tragic, and shelters routinely fill to capacity. In this landscape, Sanders' announcement is more than a philanthropic headline. It is a lifeline. "This is a step in the right direction," said Cleveland Mayor Justin M. Bibb, who stood alongside Sanders during the announcement. Shedeur Sanders is showing what true leadership looks like, both on and off the field. His generosity will make a lasting impact on our city, and we are incredibly grateful for his commitment. More than beds and walls. The initiative is designed not just as a stopgap but as a foundation. By creating 100 housing units and 200 shelter beds, Sanders hopes to foster not only physical safety but also emotional stability. These shelters will connect residents with job training programs, counseling services, healthcare support, and pathways toward permanent housing. "Giving someone a bed is important," Sanders said, "but giving them hope is everything. I want every person who walks into these shelters to know they're not forgotten. They matter." That line, "they matter," sparked applause, and it underscored the heart of Sanders' mission. His pledge is not a one-time act of generosity. He has vowed to partner with local nonprofits, housing coalitions, and faith-based organizations to expand the initiative further in coming years. From the gridiron to the grassroots, Sanders' father, NFL Hall of Famer Deion coach Prime Sanders, has long emphasized the importance of responsibility and giving back. Shedeur, in many ways, has internalized that lesson and found his own stage to prove it. But the younger Sanders' move is also unique. Many athletes establish foundations, make donations, or attach their names to charitable campaigns. Few commit such a massive sum upfront at the start of their careers, especially while navigating the pressures of being a rookie quarterback in one of football's most scrutinized markets. "Cleveland is where I learned the value of hard work, community, and resilience," Sanders explained. Now it's time for me to use what I've been given to help others. I'm proud to call this city my home, and I'll continue to give back in every way I can. The ripple effect across sports. The impact of Sanders' pledge is already reverberating across the NFL and beyond. Teammates, rivals, and commentators have praised the gesture, pointing out that this is the kind of leadership that cannot be diagrammed in a playbook. This young man is redefining what it means to be a franchise quarterback, ESPN analyst Marcus Spears noted. It's not just about how many touchdowns you throw. It's about how you carry yourself, how you lift others. Shedeur is showing us all what that looks like. Former players have echoed the sentiment, suggesting that Sanders' move could inspire others to view philanthropy not as a side project but as a core responsibility of modern athletes. Why it matters now. Timing is everything in football and in life. For Cleveland, Sanders' pledge comes at a pivotal moment. The city is striving to recover from economic challenges, and homelessness is one of the most visible and painful scars. For Sanders himself, the act is a declaration that he is not defined solely by his arm strength, his accuracy, or his ability to read defenses. He is, above all, a person of conscience. Sports fans often talk about franchise players, athletes who embody the values and vision of their teams. In one stroke of the pen, Sanders proved that he is not just the Browns' quarterback of the future. He is a citizen leader for the present. A city responds. Community reactions have been swift and emotional. On social media, Cleveland residents shared stories of family members who had faced homelessness and expressed gratitude for Sanders' intervention. One mother wrote, "My kids and I lived in a car for 3 months. If there had been more shelters back then, things could have been so different. Thank you, Shedeur, for thinking of families like mine." Another fan added, "I bought his jersey the day he was drafted. Now I'll wear it with even more pride." The buzz is not confined to Cleveland. Around the league, Sanders' gesture is being studied as a blueprint for how athletes can leverage their wealth and influence for maximum impact. The bigger picture. Beyond the immediate numbers, $5 million, 100 housing units, 200 shelter beds, lies a larger story. Sanders' commitment is part of a growing recognition that sports figures are among the most visible leaders in modern culture. Their actions resonate far beyond stadium walls, shaping public discourse and inspiring collective action. By tackling homelessness head-on, Sanders is shining a spotlight on an issue too often ignored. He is challenging others, athletes, corporations, and citizens alike, to see the crisis not as background noise but as a solvable problem. A reminder of what sports can be. Perhaps the most profound takeaway from Sanders' announcement is the reminder that the true measure of an athlete is not only what happens on game day but what happens every other day. When the lights dim, when the roar of the crowd fades, and when statistics are filed away in record books, what remains is the impact on people. Sanders, still at the dawn of his NFL career, already understands this. His pledge to Cleveland's homeless is a touchdown that will never appear on a scoreboard, but it may prove to be the most important play he ever makes. Meanwhile, on the field, of course, while Sanders was making headlines off the field, the NFL season marched forward. In Atlanta, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers secured a nail-biting 23-20 victory over the Falcons to open their campaign. The game was messy, marred by penalties and turnovers, but it delivered drama to the final whistle. Most importantly for Tampa Bay, their first-round rookie shined, providing flashes of brilliance that suggested brighter days ahead. It was a reminder that while storylines of grit and compassion unfold off the field, the gridiron remains a stage where new heroes are born every week. And in Cleveland, fans know they may just have one who can deliver in both arenas. Conclusion: a legacy beyond football. Shedeur Sanders' $5 million pledge is more than philanthropy. It is a signal, a promise, and a challenge. For Cleveland, it means relief for families in desperate need. For the NFL, it sets a new bar for what leadership can look like. For Sanders himself, it cements a legacy that no interception, injury, or loss could ever erase. The future of football will play out on Sunday afternoons. The future of Cleveland will, in part, be shaped by what Sanders has committed on a weekday morning. And that may be the most important game of all.